All right, good evening, everyone. And this meeting of the City of Sweetwater Planning and Zoning Commission is called to order here on Thursday, January 29th at 5:45 in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. If you would, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And thank you all for being here this evening. At this time of the meeting, citizens will be allowed to speak on consent or action items on the agenda, with the exception of public hearings for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. Anyone who desires to speak on an item scheduled for a public hearing is requested to hold their comments until the public hearing on that particular item. So, for example, if you are here about land use and things like that, we'll have a separate opportunity for public input here in a minute. So if there is no one who wishes to speak right now, we'll move on to the action items of the agenda. And items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and are generally enacted in one motion. The exception to the rule is that a commission member may request one or more items to be removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and action. Item A, approval of minutes. Consider approval of minutes from Planning and Zoning Commission, regular meeting held on November 6th of 2025. Approval of minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission work session, meetings November 6th and 13th. Approval of minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission work session meeting on December 9th. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Ludlam. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Morgan. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, names, same sign. Okay, motion carries. We'll start our first public hearing. Number one, conduct a public hearing and consider a replat out of Highland Edition, recorded in Volume Y, page 432, plat records, Nolan County, Texas, combining lots 4, 5, and 6, block 73 into one lot 4A, block 73, Highland Edition, City of Sweetwater, Nolan County, Texas. And are there any staff comments?
Yes, good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening, Bester.
So this is a request from an applicant who wants to combine 3 lots into one lot so they can build a house. And this meets the subdivision ordinance, as well as it was reviewed by our city engineer, and they approved the replat. And staff recommends that the commission approve the replat, and this is the replat that we are talking about.
Are those your comments? Thank
Yes.
And at this time, we'll open the public hearing portion of this meeting. If there is anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this matter concerning the Highland Edition, you may do so at this time. And anyone that wishes to speak this evening, we would ask that you approach the podium because the program is being recorded, and I guess it may be streamed online as well. So if you would, if you have public comments, please approach the microphone for the benefit of those people. Seeing no one approach the podium, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the replat of the Highland Edition. And I will now let me entertain that motion to close the meeting? Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Commissioner Ferguson. And do I have a second to close the public hearing?
Second.
Okay. Second, Commissioner Morgan. Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Same sign. Now then, how about a motion concerning the replat on the Highland Edition?
I'll make the motion.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Ludlam. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Second, Commissioner Bennett. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Any opposed, same sign. And the motion carries. Item 2, conduct a public hearing, discuss and consider making a recommendation to the City Council regarding the proposed amendment to the future land use map of the City of Sweetwater Comprehensive Plan adopted in 2022, City of Sweetwater, Nolan County, Texas. Are there any staff comments?
Yes. So this is the comprehensive plan amendment. And the City of Sweetwater adopted a comprehensive plan in 2022. That was the first comprehensive plan that the city adopted. And this was adopted in order to promote sound development, public health, safety, and welfare. And this is in accordance to state of Texas local government code chapter 213.002. It provides for the cities, for municipalities to be able to adopt a comprehensive plan. And like I said again, this comprehensive plan is adopted for the purpose, for reasons to make sure that there is sound development for public health, safety, and welfare. And also the Texas local government requires that whenever you adopt a comprehensive plan, you do adopt a zoning. You do adopt zoning or regulations that are in line, that are consistent with that comprehensive plan. Also, our Code of Ordinances, section 7.03b, it says that a comprehensive plan must be reviewed and adopted at least every 3 years to ensure that it remains relevant to the community's evolving needs. So we do have the state regulation as well as the City of Sweetwater's Code of Ordinances requiring that this comprehensive plan be looked at at least minimum of 3 years. So when the city adopted their comprehensive plan, a comprehensive plan has a lot of aspects to it. It's not just the land use. It has transportation, it has economic development, it has utilities. So it's a book which has a lot of components to it. But one of the components about the comprehensive plan is the future land use. And we are talking about the amendment of the future land use because the future land use is what builds into zoning ordinance. We use the future land use to be able to come up with zoning districts. So that's the reason why we are talking about comprehensive plan and in particular the future land use. So the comprehensive plan that was adopted is the one that we are seeing on the screens, and this was adopted in 2022. So when that was adopted, the city in 2023 contracted with Kendig Kist Corroboration, I'm calling KKC, a consultant, who had to come and make sure that the zoning regulations are lining up with the future land use. So the city contracted with them in 2023 and they started to do the work. And with the work that they did a lot of studies, they drove around the city, they met with staff, they had some community input as well. And they came up with that map. And that map is aligning, for the most part, with this future land use. However, when that happened, when they aligned that zoning map with the future land use, which is supposed to happen, we had that August meeting, which a lot of you came out to. And there was a lot of concerns that were raised by the community because a lot of the zoning districts were not lining up as people expected. So there was a little bit of a pushback, concerns from the community, because that map was just, in a lot of ways, just being consistent with the future land use that was adopted in 2022. So at that meeting, the commissioners, the men that are sitting in front of you, they heard the community's concerns. They did not just, ignore what the community was saying. So they took that into consideration, and they had several work sessions. They had 8 in total work sessions, different weeks, meeting here in this room for 1.5, 2 hours to just go over the zoning districts. So the first 4 sessions, this commission was just looking at the zoning districts. They looked at the boundaries, they looked at everything, being men that know the community more than anybody else, some of them being property owners. They looked at everything, at all the lines, where these boundaries are, where these districts are. And the other 4 weeks, they were looking at the regulations, because it's not just the zoning map or the zoning district. Those zonings, they have regulations that says, okay, you are in zoning district TN. What is the setback from the street? What is the setback from the back? So they looked at that. And like I said again, the state requires that your zoning has to line up with the future land use. So in this case, after the first zoning map caused a lot of issues, and of course, when the commissioners went back and looked at everything, they made a lot of changes. They made a lot of changes to what was initially proposed. And of course, when they made those changes now were not aligning with the future land use, of which the state prohibits any community to adopt zoning ordinance or zoning districts that conflict with the future land use. However, the good thing is that once that happens, if you have a zoning map that conflicts with your future land use, there is then need for you to go back to your future land use and make sure that whatever needs to change has to change. Like we said again, the Code of Ordinances says every 3 years, at least every 3 years, you can go back and make sure that your comprehensive plan is still what you want it to be. So this whole zoning ordinance update, it gave this commission an opportunity to make sure that this is amended. So what we are talking about tonight is that because of the changes that the zoning map is now showing, which are in conflict with this, if we just take it as it is right now, with what was proposed, there is conflict. So to make sure that there isn't that conflict, we have to amend this. This has to be amended, which is also allowed by the state. We are allowed, the city is allowed to amend. After public hearings, they can amend the future land use. So because of those changes that this commission was looking at to make sure that they are meeting the community needs, it necessitated that this be amended. So what we are talking about tonight is that this has to be adopted first or recommended for approval before we can talk about zoning, because this has to be amended and then we can talk about zoning changes. So tonight we have here this proposed future land use. This proposed future land use. This is the land use that was amended so that way we can have this proposed zoning map. This is the proposed zoning map which we are going to talk about as item B. But the proposed future land use, has to be adopted first before a zoning can be adopted. So tonight, what you have right here is an amended future land use that was amended after the revisions that were looked at for the zoning. So tonight, the request is for this commission to recommend approval of the amended comprehensive plan as presented. And this commission is only making a recommendation to the City Council. The City Council is the one that has the authority to adopt an amendment to the comprehensive plan. So tonight, staff is requesting this commission to recommend approval of the future land use map amendment as presented, or they can recommend for approval with some changes, and they have to state those changes. Or they can recommend that this future land use be denied. However, if it's recommended for denial, we can't even go to the next stage. This has to be either amended with some changes or recommended for approval as presented. And this map that I was showing you before, it's exactly line up with the proposed zoning ordinance map. So I'm leaving it to the commissioners to make their decision, but staff recommends that you hold a public hearing and then recommend for approval as presented. That is staff recommendation.
Thank you, Bester. At this time, we'll open the public hearing portion of the meeting. And commissioners, I guess, if you have any additional questions for Bester or anything, or if anyone in the public wishes to speak concerning the future land use map of the city of Sweetwater as part of the comprehensive plan, you're invited to come and speak. All right, seeing.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
It takes me a minute.
I beg your pardon, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Larry.
I'm not educated on all this. I was just told there was a meeting. But by this, that dark purple, the first color that's up there, it says regional commercial. Would you define that for me?
Bester, can you define that?
I'm trying to go back to the map. Actually, the dark purple is heavy industrial.
Okay, we live there and we're not industrial.
She's talking about the dark brown, the very first.
Right here. So, okay, so regional,
Show me where we are. We're on the other side of the line?
Yeah, we're on that line.
We're on that line.
so you are
So
south.
we're on the south side of the line.
Oh,
So you are in the country and we don't have a zoning authority in the account area.
but across the street from
Yes,
us
yes,
is.
yes.
So that's what I'm concerned about, but I don't quite know how to express my concern. When it says regional commercial and it's across the street from us, that means that they can build whatever there?
They can, this is the area that we have the high-end commercial, like hotels, mixed uses, and
Oh, we need a hotel across the street. Yeah, and there's kids that live in some of these areas, which concerns me, but do we have any say in whether or not this happens?
did you receive a notification later?
No, he did. He lives right down the street and I didn't get one.
Yeah, so we notify people who are within 200 feet. And as I said again, we don't have any zoning authority in the
Okay.
country.
So this part of what you're addressing is where they tore down the old nursing home and the bowling alley, and Big Boy's Barbecue sits right there. Is that the area you're talking about?
Yes, this general area, yes.
Okay, so is there some plan in the works to, it made me question what was happening when they tore down the bowling alley, because I had been up here and talked to a man in one of these offices, and he said that was still a usable building, they weren't gonna tear it down, and then they did. So I wondered if some plan is in the works for that whole big block right there.
We cannot speak of a specific property right now, especially that area, but it was a substandard building, and that's why it had to be.
Well, I understand that because it was, yeah. Okay, so, anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, please approach the mic and, thank you.
I just have a quick question to make sure that I understand this. My name is Chris Clone. I live in Sweetwater, and I'm representing Boots in Unison.
Thanks, Chris.
Can you speak up a little bit?
No, instead I'll break the place.
Or just,
My question is that I'm looking at, you have the future land use map, and then you have the proposed zoning from, you have the old or the current zoning, and then you've got some new proposed zoning maps up here as of 1/15/26. So, is my understanding correct that the plan here would be to first amend the future land use map to represent the proposed zoning plan map that you currently have sitting up here
Yes.
for sight?
uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you.
Brandon Coos. I just wonder.
Hi, Brandon.
How are y'all?
Good.
Speaking to
Thanks. Speak into the mic if you would, so we can hear you a little better.
I was just wondering, like, if we go, like, how are the property, like, what are the tax rates going to be? You know, if we go from a dwelling to downtown, how is that going to affect people?
I don't think it would.
It won't.
No impact.
It's no impact, really. I think it would be pretty neutral.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I just had a question too on the definition. I did not know what a gateway overlay meant.
Thank you for that question. So gateway, we are talking about the main roads. The city has some roads like Haley, Broadway, it has Lamar, and of course the I-20. Those are the gateways, meaning those are the main streets in the city, the face of the city. So those areas they are going, of course there are general requirements for all these other areas, but those ones will have special requirements because that's the face of the city. So if it is the face of the city, you want the best that you can get. So that's why we are calling them gateways. And that's what those ones are represented with the map right at the end.
Well, I am on a County Road 119, and right across the street you have a gateway overlay in front of my house. So that is not one of those roadways. Now, 70 goes down the street, it's down there, but 119, those are kind of ranch-style homes. You know, we've got acreage across the street, and across that way it is city. And that's where you're putting a gateway.
That area can be adjusted.
How do I do that?
No, I'm saying it can be adjusted once we know the areas that you are talking about.
Would Roby Highway would be in the gateway area, right?
Yeah, and I'm right.
Yes, so for you, it's not affecting you because, like I said, if you are in the county.
Yeah, but it's right across the street from you.
No, I understand.
So they can put something there, like,
No, this will still remain residential. All these yellow areas, they are residential. It's just for properties that are along. It has to be along the, yes.
that's just not the way the map looks.
Yeah, then we can get this adjusted, but it has to be along the, because most of the time we are looking at commercial uses.
Hello, I'm Eddie Torres.
Hi, Eddie.
Reside at 300 East Bradford Lane. At any time, where do we say stop to any changes? It's going through. It's right here, right now. I mean, if we're not on board with
Yes,
okay. My main concern, where I'm at, I can't speak for anywhere else, but my residential neighborhood where we live, where we reside at, my concern is the amount of crime that took place at that nursing home that was just knocked down. Thank y'all for knocking it down. the response time for Sweetwater Police Department, anytime we'd call Sweetwater Police Department, we have to call county because we reside in the county. I want it left how it is. There's nothing out there right now. I don't want anything else out there to attract anybody else. We saw that building get gutted before it was knocked down. There's no wiring left in it. There's no, it was trashed. My issue is I don't want to attract more than what's there. We moved out there to get away from the city bustling. We're still proximity close, but my issue is crime. Because Sweetwater's not the same town I grew up in.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Did we get
appreciate
this too?
you doing that.
You can.
You can hand that to Pastor if you wish.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Anyone else that wishes to speak concerning the future land use map? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
All right. Motion to close the public hearing by Commissioner Ludlam. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. I have a second. Commissioner Morgan. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now then, what is our members' pleasure concerning this item that has just been in public hearing concerning the proposed amendment to the future land use map of the City of Sweetwater Comprehensive Plan?
Nobody wants to speak first.
Okay.
I'm in favor of it,
Okay.
because we spent a lot of time addressing the concerns that were raised and getting the future land use map to line up with what we addressed, all the concerns that were raised to basically take care of those concerns.
Okay. All right, so that is a motion. I'm guessing, is there a second?
I'll make the motion, so.
Okay, so that's a motion to consider the proposed amendment to the future land use map of the City of Sweetwater Comprehensive Plan. There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Commissioner Ferguson. And any other discussion from any of the commissioners? If not, let's vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
All right.
All right. Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. All right.
Sorry, we may need to revisit that motion because Commissioner Ferguson cannot.
As an alternate?
That's right.
Okay, well, let's get that right then. Is there,
I'll make the motion again.
all right, there is a motion, thank you, Buster. Motion on the floor to approve the future land use map, City of Sweetwater Comprehensive Plan. Is there a second?
Could I comment before we second that?
Absolutely.
What we do tonight is not fixed for the next 100 years. Things are amendable. If we've seen that we've made a mistake, it doesn't have to be this way from now on. But as long as everyone understands that, and if there is a problem, they can come to us with a potential solution, I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Morgan. There's a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. Item 3.
That's a good point, Scott.
Thank you. Yeah, all of this is, there's ways forward in all this for people. Item 3, conduct a public hearing, discuss and consider making a recommendation to the City Council regarding the proposed zoning land use ordinance update, City of Sweetwater, Nolan County, Texas. Staff comments, Buster?
Yes, again, like we said before, the city adopted a comprehensive plan in 2022, and section 2110.004 of the Texas Local Governments provide for the adoption of a comprehensive zoning comprehensive plan that is in accordance to the comprehensive plan. So in 2023, the city contracted with KKC, Kendig Kist Corroboration, to do some studies to update the zoning ordinance because of the 2022 comprehensive plan that the city had adopted. So Kendig Kist, they did some research. Like I said again, they met with staff, city council, planning and zoning, and some stakeholders, and they had some public input as well. So with that, they came up with the zoning ordinance, which are the regulations. Like I said again, just like the comprehensive plan, the zoning ordinance does have a lot of other regulations, not just the zoning. So zoning is part of it, but it has all these other articles that talk about different things. Of course, Article 2 is the one that talks about zoning districts and dimensional standards. But there are a lot of other things like the site development. We're talking about who looks at the site to make sure that the site is where it's done the way it's supposed to do. It talks about non-conformities. It talks about measurements and where. So it's regulations. However, within that zoning ordinance, there is the zoning districts, which I know most of you are here for. So this is what they had to come up with, a zoning ordinance with all these articles. This map that you are seeing on the screen is the current zoning map. This is this is the current. It has about 14 zoning districts, and it was when the consultant was doing when they were doing their studies, and being people that have done a lot of zoning ordinances for a lot of cities, they realized that and there was also a request to reduce the number of zoning districts, and they did reduce the number of zoning districts, and so that is the future land use map, again the old one that was there, adopted with the comprehensive plan. So again, in August, going back to the August meeting, the zoning that was proposed at that time was just straight trying to align with this existing future land use. And that did not work. Like I said again, there were a lot of concerns. There were, a lot of pushback from the community. And again, thank God for this commission. They took their time. Like I said again, we were here 8 nights, 1.5 hours, 1 hour, just going through this to make sure that whatever the city is going to do is something that addresses the concerns that the community had. So the first 4 meetings, I'm repeating some of the information that I said so it can be clear to everybody. The first 4 work sessions, they were just based on the zoning map, because a lot of people came out and were just concerned about the changes that were being proposed. So they took the first 4 sessions to just look at the boundaries, and a lot of the boundaries that had been proposed to be changed, they said, no, this has to remain the same. So the first 4 sessions, they just looked at the zoning districts and the boundaries. They didn't look at anything else. So, and after that, at the meeting in August, they decided to table the item because they realized that there was a lot of pushback, so they couldn't just go ahead and just ignore what was being said by the community. So they decided to table that item to the meeting in September. But when we came to September, they still noticed that they had a lot of work to do. So they tabled it again to October until they had to agree that, we cannot keep tabling it. You can only table an item so long. So seeing that they needed more time, they just decided to withdraw it in October. They said, let's stop this. Let's take all the time that we need to make sure that we are doing something that will be honorable and address the community concerns. So in October, they withdrew the case, and it was not like, we are just cancelled, we are not going to do it. No, it was like, we need more time, let's take our time. And that's what they did. So after that, they had 4 more working sessions. And with those working sessions, they were reviewing every one of the articles. Those articles that I showed you, that it has about 8 articles. They looked at each and every one of them. And they would come and tell me, this needs to change on this page. Or it was like that. That's how intense it was. So these men really went out of their way to make sure that they address your concerns. And after those work sessions, they felt it was important to have a public engagement, to just let you all know what they had done, what they had worked on. Some people came, but a lot of people didn't show up. But anyway, people came at that meeting. And at that meeting, one of the issues that was raised, the main one was non-conformities, which I'll talk about momentarily. But this is the zoning map that they ended up coming with, which addresses a lot of situations, a lot of concerns that the community had. As I said again, at the public engagement, which was on January 13, there were issues regarding expansion. There were issues regarding if my property is destroyed by a storm, it's not anything of my own doing. Can I be able to rebuild? There were issues about the restoration time. How much time am I given to be able to rebuild or reconstruct? So again, being, concerned, commissioners, they went back and looked at it, and some of the things were changed, like you can expand up to 50%. And most of the time we are talking about commercial properties. So they can expand. They are grandfathered, their zoning changed, but then they are grandfathered. When you are grandfathered, you can expand your property up to 50% of the property value. Not just the building, but the property value. You can extend up to 50%. However, to make sure that the city is moving forward, we are also requiring that you meet some landscape requirements. We want at least to have some shrubs, of course, water resistant as much as we can, to just beautify the property, so that way the city can move in a right direction, not just for someone to expand and they are not doing anything else. I don't think that will move the city to the next level. And also the other thing that was added to that non-conformity is that you can, in the event of an event that happens, a storm happens and your property is destroyed, you can build up 100% to where it was before. So that was one of the concerns, that if this happens, yes, you can build 100%, but we have to have some sort of proof. And insurance, normally insurance people, because they will come and try to get information, you will have to come here as proof from my insurance. My property was destroyed 100% by a storm or whatever, and then you can rebuild. And the restoration, in the event also that your property has been destroyed, you can rebuild to the original, if up to 75%, which is quite a bit, because before we're saying just 50%, but now up to 75% of the property value. So that's giving you a lot of room. Some people may just decide, it's destroyed too much, I don't want to. But at least you have that room to say up to 75%, if it is destroyed, you can go back and rebuild your property. And then the period that you are allowed to do that, at least you are given a year, because we know that there are some insurance issues that may need to be addressed. In the event that even within the year you didn't have enough time, you can always come to the city and say, hey, I know the ordinance says 1 year, but my insurance, with all that is happening, I need maybe 6 more months. You can always come back to the city. Like was said again, these regulations are not written in stone. However, we have to have a base on which the city can work on. But should there be a situation which is unique, that you believe it needs these commissioners and the city council to look at, you can always come and make your application through the planning and zoning division, and then it can be looked at by the commissioners as well as the city council. I need to talk a little bit about the overlay zoning districts. That's the gateway that one of the residents was talking about. This, like I said again, these are a layer that we put on there's a base zoning, and then there's another layer. Why are we doing that? This is the face to the city. These are the main roadways that people travel on and see and get a little bit of a picture about the city. So with those, to make sure that the city is, moving forward, we need to have at least some special buildings. We need to have something that is over and above. That's the general, just a store that is built, but over and above, something that will be more attractive, because those are the main highways or main roads in the city. So that's why we do have those overlay over those areas. And I can give you an example of, say, an area, say on the northeast, where we do have that purple area. You can see that there's an overlay. That area can allow, say, it's light purple is a light industrial, and light industrial can allow RVs by special use permit. They can do RVs. However, you can go to the overlay. Overlay says no because it's a gateway. Yes, you are zoned LI, but because you are in a gateway area, we don't want RVs there because we want something more than that. We want something more beautiful or more attractive. Something that is really high quality. That's what we want. So there's something that can be allowed by the base zoning. But the overlay may say no. Because you are not just general retail, light industrial. You are light industrial, but you also are in a gateway. Does that make sense? I hope. So that is what we are talking about with this overlay. In case you wonder what it is, it's just special zoning requirements, because you are in an area which I would call more special, because you are right there where people drive in and out of the city. With that being said, here is the recommendation that the options that the commission has. The options that you have in terms of making a recommendation to the city council is that you can recommend for approval of this zoning ordinance update as presented, or you can recommend approval of the zoning update with some changes, but we have to state those changes. Or you can recommend for denial as presented. Those are your options. However, staff is saying, please hold a public hearing tonight and make a recommendation of approval as submitted. And I'll be here to answer questions that you might have.
Thank you, Bess. At this time, we'll open the public hearing, we are in public hearing, I guess. So, or let's open the public hearing portion of the meeting. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this matter, you may do so at this time. Please.
Okay, I'm confused after that. Now,
We've all gone through this too. We
I'm-
weren't born knowing much about planning and zoning either. So.
yeah, I got lost somewhere in between
Okay.
gateway
Let's talk about
and
it.
not gateway. Now,
Okay.
when I look at the proposed zoning map, it takes the area of the property that concerns my company, and it puts it as heavy industrial. Okay.
Okay.
However, then you look at the overlay map, and it makes it as one of those gateway properties. How does that, just in layman's terms, how does that affect that property? Like if we say right now we're not doing anything there, but let's say we want to do something there in the future.
Okay.
How does that affect our ability to, because before it was going to be, under the old proposal back in August, it was going to be rezoned as a regional commercial, which we were against. We'd be going from industrial to heavy industrial, which to me is not much of a change, but I'm confused with how this overlay actually affects that. we have to build aesthetically pleasing buildings if we build on it? I mean, can somebody explain it to me?
Yeah, I think so. I think aesthetics would have something to do with it, for sure. I mean, when you're looking at our gateways, that you're wanting them to develop just a little higher standard, I guess, than would be otherwise.
So it
That's-
doesn't,
Go ahead.
it doesn't affect your business, it just affects, you just want it to look nice.
Yes.
Is that what it comes down to?
Yes.
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 Okay, that clears it up for me. I appreciate that.
Oh,
Thank you very
awesome.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please come up.
How you doing? I'm Heath Spencer. Apologies for showing up late.
That's quite all right.
I do
Thanks
have
for being here.
I believe I missed a little bit at the start here, just trying to get up to speed. In kind of a similar question, just asking for my sake in layman's terms, as a homeowner in one of the potentially affected areas, got a notification in the mail. What are the general implications of this that we're looking at going forward? I'm just trying to figure out what this means for us potentially.
You've gone from a traditional neighborhood to like residential mix, maybe, or something like that?
Can you show us where you are located?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I've tried looking online, but I got a little bit lost in the next, which
All right.
map, this one right here. So I'm right in this area right here on East 14th Street.
Yeah, so this area at first, it had been recommended for, as you can see here, it had been recommended for retail and stuff like that. But we soon realized with the commissioners, they said, no, this area needs to remain residential. So all that area now is residential.
Okay.
So you are good, no issues.
Okay, and then this map that I'm looking at right here, this is the one amended according to the recommendations with
No, this one is just showing the gateways.
Oh, okay.
It's the same as this one, but it's just showing where the gateways are.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak? All right, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing by Commissioner Morgan, a second. Second by Commissioner Reyes. All right, all those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, pose same sign. Motion carries. All right, members of the commission, what is your pleasure on the item number 3 concerning the recommendation to the city council regarding the proposed zoning land use ordinance update, City of Sweetwater?
Well, we'd like to speak just a little bit,
Please.
and I'll basically repeat what Commissioner Morgan said, is we may not be getting this all right, but there are paths available to correct issues that we didn't take into account, we didn't see, but we gotta start somewhere. And so, if it turns out there are issues, there are ways that we can address them.
Thank you.
And I would hope everyone understands about the grandfather provision, that you can be non-conforming, but you can still be grandfathered in so long as you don't change your use. And there are exemptions to that, such as the act of God. If it comes in a tornado or a huge storm comes in and tears up your property that's non-conforming, well, then that's an exception. You can replace it. And these are some of the tweaks that we've had to make with the hours that we spent on this. And Commissioner Stein, you've done a great job of keeping us together on
Thank you.
this.
Thank you. All right, so we have, commissioners, we've got, we can approve it as presented, or, and I would wait for any motions from anyone.
Make a motion, we approve it as presented.
All right, motion to
Second.
approve, and a second by Commissioner Morgan. Any other discussion from anyone? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, pose same sign. Then this will be recommended to the city council.
Yes, before we finish, I want to take this moment to thank the commissioners for the work that we have done with this. This is a major project for any city. It's a major, major project. And a special thank you to Commissioner Ladlam. He would always print these maps. They are quite expensive, but I would always, do it for the city. So I'm grateful for even for the community. For those of you who have been coming, those of you who came to the office calling and all that, it helped us to work together in order to come up with something that is a good, very good start, a very good start. So I am grateful to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Bester. I'd also like to say, we're here for you guys. I mean, we're volunteers. We work for y'all. We don't work for the city. So, if you have any kind of concerns, I think there's a way forward with the plan that we've just decided to present to the council for their approval. Commissioners, this concludes our business for this evening. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
But please note that the public hearing has already been closed.
Okay, I don't want to ask a public hearing question. Do y'all have anything to do with the things that come into Sweetwater, businesses? And the reason I'm asking, there's a sign as you're coming in from Abilene, and it says Sweetwater. I don't know exactly what it says. Great place to live. You can relax. You can play. You can play. Where is there a place in Sweetwater that an adult can play? I don't gamble. I'm a Christian. And what have we got? Is anything being done to bring anything in? We've got a lot of young people here, not here, but in Sweetwater, that don't have anything to do with their time. And I'm just wondering if there's anything in the works.
Not with us, but there are people like Seed, MDD, that are certainly working to attract
Do they have meetings?
businesses. Yes, they do.
Okay, here?
Yes, they do. No, it's at the Chamber of Commerce building
Okay,
on East Broadway.
okay. So I can go to the Chamber of Commerce and look at their website and find out when it is.
Yes, you certainly could.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We
Thank you
just
very
need something.
much. All right. All right. And again, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Okay. Motion to adjourn second?
Second?
All right. We are adjourned.